Just floating in the Howe Sound, just in front of the proposed site for the site for the proposed woodfibre LNG facility. This was one of the first sites to be proposed for export of liquefied natural gas. It has gone through federal and provincial environmental assessments. It has gone through a separate Squamish Nation assessment. It's currently going through a term poll review by Transport Canada. And we're kind of waiting to see when they're going to get started, if ever. Environmentally, for the sound itself, there already has undergone some restoration. And the concrete creosote pilings here are going to be replaced and dug up. There's some risks around that due to disturbance of the sediment, due to the still being a bit of toxic pollution in there. There's impacts on the creek for fish, for 2 creeks, so there's going to have to be some close monitoring over how that's done. There's always risks with liquefied natural gas. There's a number of cases where plants have actually had explosions. Besides that, the big risk is having the LNG tankers come into the Sound. Until such time that Canada actually does have world-class tanker safety standards in place, I feel that it would be too risky to bring those tankers in there.
We're going to clean up what's been left here from the pulp mill. There's a lot of industrial activity that happened over the past 100 years that needs to be taken care of. So there's a lot of cleanup to go first. Once we finish that, we'll be building a small-scale LNG facility exporting northeastern BC natural gas to markets in Asia. The project is nearing a point where we can give full notice to proceed. We've still got to wrap up our negotiations with our EPC contractor. We have a few outstanding conditions with the federal, provincial and Squamish Nation government that need to be fulfilled. Once those conditions are fulfilled, we should be in a position to proceed with serious construction early in the new year. The sector's been shipping LNG around the world for 50, 60 years without a single loss of containment. These are some of the most sophisticated vessels in the world, possibly only second to military vessels. When these ships come in from the open ocean, they'll have 2 British Columbia pilots aboard because of the distance, so it's longer than 1-person shift. So 2 pilots to be able to drive that vessel, and they'll be escorted by 2 to 3 tugs, and on certain occasions they'll actually be tethered. The possibility of this ship running aground or running into another direction is rare, and actually there's not much aground here. This is a deep sea harbor, and ships have been coming in here for 100 years when it was a pulp mill. So we don't see that as a significant issue, but given the safety systems we're putting in place. We're going to have multiple levels of safety and fire suppression on site. There won't be any near forest that could possibly catch on fire, and we're going to have trained personnel to deal with those things. But what needs to be added here is I'm 7 kilometers from the nearest human habitation, right? So we're surrounded by mountain, we have no neighbors, we're surrounded by our property, private property, then crown land. So this is a very safe place to do anything because of our proximity to, frankly, simply the ocean and the mountains.